Have you ever wondered how a handful of fledgling colonies transformed into the most powerful nation on Earth? How did a land of vast wilderness, inhabited by diverse native cultures, become the United States of America? In just the next 10 minutes, we're going to journey through over 500 years of epic history, from the first European sails on the horizon to the digital age. This is the story of America, a tale of rebellion, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of an ideal. Let's rewind the clock. Our story begins long before the United States existed, with vibrant and complex societies of Native Americans thriving across the continent. But the world was about to change forever. In 1492, Christopher Columbus's voyage connected two worlds, sparking an age of exploration. Soon, other European powers followed. Think of the brave, or perhaps desperate, souls who crossed a treacherous ocean for a new start. In 1607, the English established Jamestown, a fragile foothold in a vast, unknown land. It was a brutal beginning, marked by starvation and conflict, but it was a start. Over the next century and a half, more settlers arrived, seeking religious freedom, economic opportunity, or simply a new life. From the Puritans in Massachusetts to the farmers in Virginia, 13 distinct colonies began to take shape along the Atlantic coast. Life was tough. They cleared forests, built towns from scratch, and developed unique identities. A New England merchant's life was vastly different from a Southern planter's. Yet, despite their differences, they were all beginning to see themselves not just as British subjects, but as something new, something American. This growing sense of a shared identity would soon set them on a collision course with an empire. By the mid-1700s, that relationship with Great Britain started to sour. After years of relative freedom, London began imposing new taxes and regulations, like the Stamp Act and the Tea Act, without giving the colonists a voice in Parliament. No taxation without representation became the rallying cry. Protests erupted, from the intellectual debates in Philadelphia's halls to the defiant act of the Boston Tea Party. Tensions boiled over in 1775 with the shot heard. Round the world, at Lexington and Concord, the American Revolution had begun. It was a daunting task. How could a ragtag army of farmers and merchants possibly defeat the world's greatest military power? The answer lay in their unwavering belief in liberty and the leadership of one man, George Washington. On July 4, 1776, the Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence, a radical document declaring that all men are created equal with the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. For 8 long years, Washington's Continental Army endured brutal winters, devastating losses, and incredible hardship. But with crucial help from allies like France, they persevered. The victory at Yorktown in 1781 secured American independence. They had won the war, but the even harder part was just beginning, building a nation. With freedom won, the founders faced a monumental challenge: how to govern themselves. Their first attempt, the Articles of Confederation, was too weak. The young nation was falling apart. So, in 1787, delegates gathered in Philadelphia to draft a new blueprint for government, the United States Constitution. This brilliant document created a republic with a system of checks and balances designed to protect liberty while providing a strong central government. It was the birth of American democracy. With a stable government in place, the nation began to look westward. The spirit of the frontier captured the American imagination. People pushed past the Appalachian Mountains, seeking land and opportunity. This westward drive was supercharged in 1803 with the Louisiana Purchase. President Thomas Jefferson doubled the size of the country with the stroke of a pen, acquiring a vast territory from France. This kicked off an era of exploration, epitomized by the Lewis and Clark expedition, and fueled the idea of manifest destiny, the belief that America was destined to stretch from coast to coast. But this expansion came at a great cost to Native American populations and highlighted a deep, dark contradiction at the heart of the nation. As America grew, so did the division between the industrializing North and the agrarian, slave-holding South. The question of slavery, the nation's original sin, could no longer be ignored. The country was a house divided. Compromises were attempted, but they only delayed the inevitable conflict. The election of Abraham Lincoln in 1860, who opposed the expansion of slavery, was the final straw for the South. Southern states seceded, forming the Confederacy, and in 1861, the Civil War erupted. It was the bloodiest conflict in American history, pitting brother against brother. The war was fought not just to preserve the Union, but as it progressed, to end slavery. Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation transformed the war's purpose, and his powerful words at Gettysburg redefined the nation as one conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. After 4 brutal years, the Union Army, led by General Ulysses S. Grant, was victorious. The war preserved the nation and abolished slavery, but the struggle for true equality was far from over. America had been reborn, but its journey toward unity was just beginning. In the decades following the Civil War, America underwent a staggering transformation. The country exploded with industrial growth. Railroads stitched the continent together, cities swelled with immigrants seeking a better life, and inventions like the telephone and the electric light bulb changed daily existence. Titans of industry like Carnegie, Rockefeller, and Ford built vast empires, turning the U.S. into an economic powerhouse. This new strength soon projected itself onto the world stage. In 1917, America entered World War I, tipping the balance of power and helping secure an Allied victory. After a period of isolationism and the economic turmoil of the Great Depression, the nation was once again called to action by the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. America's industrial might became the arsenal of democracy, producing the planes, tanks, and ships that were crucial to defeating the Axis powers in World War II, emerging from the war as one of 2 global superpowers. Alongside the Soviet Union, America was ready to lead the post-war world, ushering in a new and complex era. The second half of the 20th century was defined by the Cold War, a tense ideological struggle against the Soviet Union. This rivalry played out across the globe, from the proxy wars in Korea and Vietnam to the thrilling, high-stakes space race that put a man on the moon. Back at home, another more profound struggle was taking place. The civil rights movement, led by figures like Martin Luther King Jr., challenged segregation and demanded the nation live up to its promise of equality for all. Through nonviolent protest and powerful advocacy, they achieved landmark legislation that changed the face of America. Simultaneously, a cultural revolution was underway, and the rise of television, rock and roll, and later the internet connected and transformed society in ways never before imaginable. From the Silicon Valley tech boom to the global spread of American movies and music, the nation's influence continued to shape the modern world. This brings us to today, a nation still grappling with its past, still debating its future, and still striving to form that more perfect union envisioned by the founders centuries ago. The story of America is complex, often contradictory, but always dynamic. Thank you so much for joining me on this rapid-fire tour through American history. If you found this journey fascinating, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shape our world. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Until next time, stay curious.